know how it looks the sales process of government corruption? If the answer is yes, stay tuned because I will show you the real sales process of a company selling to a corrupt government. I am Marian Hanganu of Salesman Pride and you are watching the second episode of Selling to Corrupt Governments. Last time I explained you how multinational companies manage to sell to corrupt governments with little risks. It is the time to take a look to the sales funnel of a contractor. The starting event is the decision to target a specific ministry, government agency, or state-owned company. Then there is a big decision to be made. Is this a construction or an interception? If the customer has no project that involves buying what we intend to sell, then it is a construction project. The salesman has to generate demand. He will contact the customer, will learn about the decision structure of the customer, and will look for an executive sponsor. An executive sponsor is somebody high enough in the organization to be able to take him to anybody in the organization. He can open any door and supply any information. By this time, the salesman has to secure the support of a decision maker. The higher, the better. The executive sponsor and the decision maker will include the project on the approval track, will get approved and funded. In the next step, the contractor will supply the tender documentation to the customer. Yes, it is the contractor and not the buyer who will prepare the tender file, or at least the technical part of it. The tender file will contain details that will point to the solution that our contractor is selling. It will not prevent the other companies to bid, but it will offer a competitive edge good enough to the contractor. This competitive edge will be enough to win. Once the tender is published and the competitors buy the tender file, they will start asking questions. These questions target the criteria that favor the contractor and make harder for them to compete. They will use existing laws and regulations to change the tender provisions that hamper their ability to compete. Very often, the buyer's people send the questions to the contractor and he provides the answers. So they come to answer to the competitor's clarification request. How crazy is this? You tell me. Now, the contractor will admit some of the harmless changes, but will reject the ones that would cancel his advantage. Once the clarification stage ends, competitors submit their proposals. The Bias Tender Commission deliberates and, more often than not, decides to award the victory to our contractor. Alright, now let's take a look to the interception. The salesman targets a public organization that is on the way to buy something that our contractor sells. This project is the construction of another contractor, as corrupt as he is. These people are real pro, so they are able to identify the source of a tender just from reading it. They will look to the criteria that favors the competitor and will know who did it. The next step is to get a confirmation from an insider and to find an executive sponsor. The salesman will use the executive sponsor to hire an executive support, a decision maker of the buying organization. This decision maker must be more powerful than the one of the competitors. Sometimes the customer gets support of the same corrupt official than the contractor that has initiated the project. Politicians and high-rank civil servants are professional traitors. Next step, change the tender documentation if it has not been published yet. Remove the competitor differentiators and write instead yours. If this is not possible or the tender has already been published, the contractor will ask some very well-crafted questions. These questions will ask the buyer to change the decision criteria, the technical or financial requirements. The insiders and the contractor are changing the tender documentation in full light. They are turning it from unfriendly to serving their interests. Competitors submit the proposals and a fierce battle takes place inside the buying organization. The armies of the two corrupt competitors try to award the victory to their side. This is how it works. If you ever compete for government business, you will know what to look for. If the process is rigged, don't waste your time. Pack and go. Go, but not from my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, now it is the last moment to do it. Click on the bell near the subscribe button too to get notifications when I post a new movie. Goodbye.